A last-minute Hail Mary, Biden's ERA declaration reignites debate. On January 17, 2025, President Biden declared the Equal Rights Amendment, or ERA, to be part of the U.S. Constitution. This amendment aims to guarantee equal rights for all Americans, regardless of sex. The move was met with a mix of praise and criticism. Supporters hailed it as a historic victory for gender equality. Critics questioned its timing and legal standing. The ERA has been a contentious issue for decades, passed by Congress in 1972, but falling short of state ratifications. In recent years, there has been renewed momentum for its adoption. Supporters argue that the ERA is crucial for achieving full equality for women. However, the legal status of the ERA remains uncertain. Opponents argue that the deadline for ratification has long passed and claim Biden's declaration exceeds his presidential authority. The issue is likely to be tied up in the courts for years to come. The critics speak too little, too late. President Biden's declaration on the ERA has drawn sharp criticism from some abortion rights advocates. They argue that while symbolic, the move is ultimately a hollow gesture, coming too late to meaningfully address the current crisis. Critics point to a pattern of hesitant and inadequate action from the Biden administration on abortion rights. They argue that he should have taken more aggressive action sooner to protect abortion access. Critics express disappointment with the limited scope of Biden's advocacy on abortion. Adding to the discontent is the perception that some policies implemented by the Biden administration have been ineffective in mitigating the impact of Roe's reversal. For instance, a rule allowing states to use Medicaid funding for out-of-state abortions was adopted by no states, rendering it practically meaningless. Defenders rally, a vital step in a long fight. While critics voice their discontent, President Biden's declaration on the ERA has garnered staunch defense from key allies and supporters. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Minnie Timaraju, head of Reproductive Freedom for All, view the ERA declaration as a crucial advancement. They acknowledge the sluggish response of the Democratic Party to the overturning of Roe, but stop short of placing all blame on Biden. Timaraju highlights a communication failure on the part of Democrats, suggesting that the party has struggled to effectively convey its actions and policies on abortion to the public. The Planned Parenthood Action Fund remains steadfast in its support for President Biden. They hail him as the most pro-reproductive freedom president in history, emphasizing the administration's swift shift to crisis response mode following the overturning of Roe. They point to actions taken by the administration, such as protecting access to medication abortion and issuing guidance to federal agencies, as evidence of their commitment to safeguarding reproductive rights. Section 4. The ERA's uncertain future, a legal battlefield awaits. President Biden's declaration of the ERA as part of the Constitution has thrust this long-debated amendment into the heart of the legal battle over abortion rights. Proponents of abortion rights argue that the ERA could provide a powerful legal tool to challenge restrictions on abortion access. They contend that denying women access to abortion constitutes sex discrimination, as it impedes their ability to fully participate in society and exercise bodily autonomy. Anti-abortion activists view the ERA as a threat to their goals of limiting or banning abortion. They argue that the amendment, if upheld, could be used to challenge existing and future legislation aimed at restricting abortion access. Biden's declaration itself is likely to face numerous legal challenges, with opponents arguing that the deadline for ratification has long passed. These legal battles are likely to be protracted and contentious, potentially reaching the Supreme Court for a final decision. Section 5. The White House responds. Evolving legal strategies. The Biden administration is acutely aware of the legal challenges ahead for the ERA. In response to criticisms of the timing and legal basis for the president's declaration, the White House has emphasized its evolving legal strategy on this issue. According to a White House official, President Biden's position on declaring the ERA ratified evolved over time, influenced by arguments presented by legal experts. The White House maintains that the timing of the declaration was strategically chosen to coincide with a period of heightened attention to abortion rights following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. They believe that this timing will help galvanize public support for the ERA and bolster its chances of surviving legal challenges. The administration also hopes that the declaration will encourage more states to formally recognize the ERA, further solidifying its legitimacy. Critics, however, remain unconvinced by the White House's explanations, questioning whether the declaration can overcome the significant procedural and political obstacles it faces. Section 6. A legacy and the balanced public opinion on Biden's abortion record. President Biden's declaration on the ERA comes as his overall legacy on abortion rights hangs in the balance. Public opinion on his handling of this issue is divided, reflecting the deep polarization surrounding abortion in American society. While some voters praise his efforts to protect abortion access, others view his actions as insufficient and blame him for the rollback of reproductive rights under his watch. Polling data suggests that a segment of the electorate holds President Biden responsible for the overturning of Roe v. Wade simply because it occurred during his presidency. The overturning of Roe has energized both sides of the abortion debate, putting immense pressure on Biden to take decisive action. The ongoing debate over the ERA is likely to further shape public perception of Biden's legacy on abortion rights. If the amendment is ultimately successful in restoring some measure of abortion access, it could be seen as a significant victory for Biden and his supporters.